Hi guys, Coach Stacy here, and I'm going to talk to you really quick about making healthy choices going forward. So we just rebooted and our bodies were used to getting 300 calories a day during the reboot. So we have been walking around for days in a caloric deficit, burning our fat for fuel. Okay, so we need to keep this in mind going forward. When we're talking about calories, and no matter how you are eating, you still have to be underneath your caloric ceiling. In other words, you need to be in a caloric deficit in order to lose weight or burn fat. It's just facts, you guys. I know nobody likes to talk about counting and tracking and all of that, but you need to know how many calories your body is allowed to have. And if you stay underneath that, you can probably stay in that weight loss and that fat burning mode, okay? Let's talk about how to eat and track, and we're gonna talk about some snacks as well. So, you can be low carb, that's usually around 50 to 100 carbs every single day. Being in a caloric deficit is just counting your calories and being underneath that caloric ceiling that I already mentioned. You can also be keto. So when you're keto, you're eating less than 20 to 30 carbs every day, and there's a couple of categories that I'll tell you about. So if you are lazy keto, it means you're not tracking your macros. Your macros are your carbs. It just means that you're eating less than 20 or 30, but you're eating those keto foods, but you're just not counting them. If you're dirty keto, again, you're not counting them, but you're still eating keto, but you're allowing yourself some processed foods like tortillas, processed cheeses, things like that. Okay, so that's lazy and that's dirty keto. And then the last thing is strict keto, which means you're counting absolutely everything that is going in your mouth, and you're also not allowing yourself to have those dirty keto foods. Okay, so you're eating more of a whole, clean keto diet, if that makes sense. Let's talk about some snack options now. Of course, going forward, lean meats, really good healthy vegetables and fruits is super important. If you're keto, make sure you keep those in mind. I always try to stick with the berries and then the green leafy vegetables, of course, because those are the healthiest for you and they have the least amount of sugar content in them. Let's talk about some snacks. So some good snack options for you are going to be the low carb yogurts like Too Good yogurt. Make sure you guys are reading labels, because just because it says keto, it's not always. Another really good option is cottage cheese. You could do nuts, but let's talk about nuts. So nuts tend to have a higher calorie content. I love nuts, I love almonds, I love cashews. So for example, cashews, 1/4 of a cup of cashews has 160 calories in it. That's about a handful of cashews. And I can tell you, when I sit down to eat these, I could eat a ton of them. So keep that in mind when you're just snacking out of the container here. You might be eating more than you actually think and going up over that caloric ceiling there. So 1/4 of a cup of those has 160 calories, but you could also have an entire can of tuna and some great Duke's mayonnaise that has really good omega-3 healthy fats in it. Mix this together, put it over a bed of rice and a bed of lettuce, not rice, and you have a really good meal and a snack. Now, which one of these do you think is going to fill you up more? It's probably going to be this one. It's higher in the protein content and it's going to be more filling. So for the same exact amount of calories, you can do this or you can do a handful of this. I'm choosing this all the time. Now, if you don't like tuna, you can have chicken from the can, make some chicken salad. It's exactly the same. So keep that in mind, you guys. Make some good healthy choices. Stay under that caloric ceiling and you're going to do amazing.